Good morning and welcome to this week's virtual assembly. I haven't done one in a while, but there's been a few things on the radar that I wanted to share with you and update you on, and so I felt it was a good time for me to get involved back into the assemblies and to share some messages via that. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope that you managed to get out into the sunshine just a little bit. There was a little bit of a breeze. In fact, it was quite windy in places on Sunday. However, it was sunny, it was dry, and I hope that whatever you did, you certainly enjoyed doing with your family and maybe one or two friends as well. Our value for this month and indeed into next month, into May, is honesty. How honest are you? When did you last have a time when you considered being dishonest and not telling the truth? I know certainly there are times where I speak with my boys and we have the conversations around whether we've made the right choice to say what we did or whether or not we should have maybe been a little bit more honest up front. I have a little story about this. I was going to share the story of the ant hill, the ants, about the ant who was dishonest, but then I remembered that I shared that with you last year. Some of you may remember that story. If not, then let me know and I'll share it with you again. But this one is quite a popular fable, a story all about honesty and the importance of always telling the truth. And it's about the boy who cried wolf. And it goes like this. One day there was a little boy, let's call him Ronnie. And Ronnie had a very important job of looking after the sheep. It was in his village and he had been trusted with this job. He wasn't very old. He was maybe about 8 or 9 years old, so the age of some of our year 4 children. And he'd been given this job by the village elder. He was very proud of this job. But one day he woke up and he thought he would play a trick on the other villagers. So he rushed out to the window and shouted out of the window, "Help, help, there's a wolf. Please come, it's attacking my sheep." Well, the rest of the villagers heard this and the sheep were very important to the village. So they all dropped what they were doing and rushed off to Ronnie to see what was going on. And as they arrived one by one at the window, he looked at them with a smile on his face. "Tricked you," he said. "There isn't really a wolf around. I just wanted to see what would happen if I shouted it." Well, as you can imagine, the villagers went away. They were frustrated because they'd stopped what they were doing. Some of their loaves had burnt in the oven where they had to leave them and come and try and help Ronnie. They were not at all impressed. And they said to him, "Do not do that." Well, the following day, Ronnie was out in the field tending to his sheep, looking after them one by one, when all of a sudden he heard the noise of a wolf. He rushed down the hillside. "Wolf, wolf, come and help, quick, there's a wolf." Well, what do you think the villagers did? You're right, they didn't come running. They thought, "Oh, it's that Ronnie again. He's trying to trick us 2 days on a row. He's not going to get us this time." And they carried on baking their bread and making their tools. Well, when Ronnie did return up the hill, you can imagine what he saw. The sheep had scattered. The wolves had managed to get 1 or 2 of them. And then he had to go down, speak to his father and explain what had happened. And when his dad went up and saw the devastation and then took Ronnie down, the villagers were upset, they were sad. Do you think Ronnie learned a lesson through that? What lesson do you think it was? How honest are you? When were you last dishonest? When did you last tell a little fib, a white lie? Think about that. And let's think about as a school how we can always be honest with one another. So let's see who are going to be our Leaf winners this week. We had some great winners last week for being honest all the time, for always telling the truth. And let's see this week who are going to be the honest people across our school. I just wanted to share some successes with you. I had an email last week from Lucy Webster's mum. Really proud of Lucy for entering a writing competition, and rightly so. Lucy was honoured with this and rewarded, and her poem was put into a book which she now has a copy of. So Lucy, well done. I'm extremely proud of you, and I think that it's very well deserved. And do you know what? Why don't you bring that book to me? Maybe I can read your poem in next week assembly. So let's see. And well done again. It's great to see our children's work get into publications. The other thing I'm extremely proud of is our new climbing wall. A huge thank you to Mr. Hayho Smith for all of the hard work that he's put into putting, I think there's about 80 climbing holds on the top level and the bottom level of that wall. And I know that being out there at different break times and lunch times, I can see the joy that this new resource has brought to so many of you in our school. So thank you to Mr. Hayho Smith for that, but also thanks to a number of our children in Year 5 who have, over the years, and it has taken a couple of years, they have been on different walks to fundraise and raise some money for our climbing wall in particular. So Tom and Freddie and Bertie, I know that the three of you in particular got involved in this. I think there was someone else as well, and I can't remember who it was. I will either have to trawl back through my emails, or maybe one of you can come and let me know. But I definitely know that you went out and did some walking and did some activities to raise funds, which helped purchase our climbing wall. So boys, and the final person who I do apologise, but I can't remember. Thank you so much, because the money which you helped raise, you can now see the fruits of your labour and your efforts. And I hope you are proud, and I hope that you have had a chance to go on that wall yourself. If not, come and see me, and we'll give you a special session where you can get involved in that as well. So when you're on that wall, a couple of top tips. The first one, which I always remember when I had some climbing coaching a number of years back, was about keeping your body nice and close to that wall. The closer you are to that wall with all of the bits of your body, the easier you will find it. If you start to lean away from the wall, you've got that weight which isn't close enough, and you start to then really sort of pull the muscles on your fingers and your toes, and so that makes it a lot harder. So keep right close to that wall, and work yourself along, work your way along. Always look ahead of you which way you're going as to where the next hold is, both for your feet and for your hands. And remember, it is a traverse wall. The idea of traversing is going side to side. So it's not climbing up. We're not looking to go over the top of the wall. That would be a wrong choice. And we would certainly be having words with you, because that could make it dangerous for yourself. So the idea is to go side to side, and just which way you want to go is up to you. But look at where that next handhold is and that foothold, and keep yourself close to it. And the other thing which is quite good is about spotting one another. And what we mean by that is you do it in pairs. So one of you is on the wall, and the other one stands just behind and guides them. They don't need to hold them or touch them, but they can just give them some advice, because often if you're slightly further back, you can see further ahead than the person on the wall. If you imagine when you're really up close, it's hard to see what's further along. Whereas the spotter behind you can give you some guidance. They can say, just past that blue hold on your right-hand side, there's a grey one. Can you reach up to that? Give them some advice, give them encouragement. That November value of our cooperation is absolutely in play there, where we can work with one another and we can support them in that. So there you go. So do have fun with that. Do enjoy it. Make sure you use it safely. Think about your limitations and the risk that you put yourself in. And that's fine. It's good to take risks as long as they are measured risks and they are well judged. So think about that and have fun and enjoy that. So this week, I hope you have great fun with all you do. I know there's lots of new topics that you're getting involved with. I'm seeing all sorts of things going on around the school. It was great to look in on Year 4 last week and see their little models of teeth that they're making. They looked amazing, so well done to the children there in Year 4 for crafting and making those wonderful molars and incisors and things like that. So that was brilliant. Well done to our Key Stage 1 children. They have started some great topics. I'm starting to see some castles, and they're talking about those sort of areas. Early years, well done on your dinosaurs. I know that you're very excited about those. One of the facts that I have about a dinosaur is the Diplodocus. The Diplodocus had a neck that was 3 times the length of a giraffe's neck. So just think how high into those trees and branches that Diplodocus could reach to eat the leaves that it needed to. And there's also a fact about a Stegosaurus, which is the ones with the they're not spikes, they're plates, I think they are, running across the back of it. And my son Alex told me something when he was learning about them, about how they change colour depending on the mood and the emotion of the dinosaur. So maybe children in early years, in fact any child in the school, find out about that, see if I'm right or wrong, and come and tell me about that. That'd be absolutely brilliant. So children, your staff have a great opportunity tonight. On Monday evening, they've got a webinar that they're attending on Rec and Rec, which is a new maths resource that Mrs. Church is bringing in across the school. So they're going to be doing that. So children, here's your challenge. Ask your teachers, ask your staff, ask your adults that you work with how they got on with Rec and Rec tonight. So when you see them tomorrow morning, see how they thought, what they thought about it. There's your challenge. So have a great day, have a great week, and I will see you throughout the school for the rest of this week as we enjoy the sunshine, which continues. You can see out the window here, it's coming through, which is lovely. Remember to be honest with one another, and think of all those opportunities and things you can learn about. So well done. Final thing. The Daily Mile. So it's great. I see you out in the playground and the field running that each day, which is brilliant. Lots of you wear your Fitbit and you have that chance to count up those steps. And I understand that we now have a trophy, and the winning class for that trophy this week, or last week, the first week that we did with the trophy, I believe is Maple class. So well done to Maple class. Hopefully you are having that trophy in your room nice and proudly. And are you going to retain it? Are you going to be the champions 2 weeks on the trot? Or is another class going to be able to outpace you, outrun you, and take that trophy for themselves? Well, let's see the efforts that you put in this week to try and achieve that. So well done to Maple class, well done to everyone that gets involved in the Daily Mile each day, and enjoy what you do this week. All the best, take care, bye for now.